What up, Mac is? What up, YouTube? A few people left a comment on an old story I did about crack and said that I need to get to some Sherm stories. So I'm going to run off about 4 or 5 Sherm stories that I got going back to the 70s and early 80s. Welcome to another episode of KM Videos, True Stories. Welcome to another episode, KM Videos, True Stories.
I get my ball on, you know what I'm saying? Rolling down the street in my city car. I hit front, back, side to side.
From my low, my jaw, the pimp, the hog.
Check it out.
Khakis low, sweatshirt and low soul.
That was it. I never stopped banging. I started banging hard, then I got so hard till it was a shame.
Welcome to another episode of KM Videos, True Stories. Today's story takes place in 1977 at my house, at the house on Eileen Avenue, across the street from 54th Street School Elementary. Now, I was in elementary at the time, obviously, and moms used to give me a key to the house because nobody would be at home when I got out of school. So I had this little key that I used to always lose. Moms would go crazy, you know, and but I just couldn't keep up with the key. Kind of like now, it's kind of hard to keep up with the keys, but to the point. So I come home from school one day, and I go up in the house, eat me some cereal, turn on the boob tube, watch some cartoons, or watch some Gummer Pile and Get Smart, and I hear this noise in our chimney. We had this fireplace made of brick, nice little bricks in the inside, goes all the way up through the roof, and then you got bricks and cement on the top with this like chicken wire cemented, you know, into the cement, so nothing can come through the chimney except maybe rainwater. And so I'm hearing noise in the chimney, and I'm like, damn, what is that? And like a white person in a scary movie. I'm not running from it, I'm running to it. So I'm looking, I'm listening. Like, damn, there's some noise up in there, all this moving around and shit. And the chimney is not really that big. It don't look big anyway. It looks small. Like as a little kid, I was into everything, and one thing I wasn't into was trying to go down that chimney. Never thought it would be possible. So I don't know what's up in there, but my sister comes home. The youngest sister, which is the 4th child. She comes home, and I'm telling her there's something in the chimney. And she like, oh, it ain't nothing in the It's something in the chimney. Could be a bird, could be a hawk, shit, who knows? But a hawk wouldn't fit down there. Might be a baby chi-chi bird, I don't know. So sis is like, ain't nothing in there. And then all of a sudden, we hear this dude screaming, I'm Santa Claus, I'm Santa Claus. And the voice kind of sounds familiar, but it's a little bit muffled. And he slips or whatever, soot comes falling out the chimney into the fireplace. And I said, I told you. And so he's just going on and on about, I'm Santa Claus, I'm Santa Claus. Then he starts yelling that he's stuck. And I kind of think I know who it is, but we ain't 100% sure. And he makes it down, almost all the way down into the house. And it's our cousin. It's my mama's best friend, Dora Bell's son, Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe had a brother named Clarence, and they was all cool around the same age as my brother. These dudes was all born in the 1950s, early 50s to mid 1950s. And they were all tight and cool, and they were all hanging out when this Sherm hit. I remember my brother used to take me to Sherm Alley in the jungle back when I was young. And so these dudes was all together, but they did their own thing too. They just would meet up and do their own thing. And bro was in the Navy at the time of this incident. But all of them used to be stuck, man. Clarence Clarence used to be moving around slow and talking slow, so it really messed with his mental. Bobby Joe was just like wild with it, crazy with it. Bobby Joe used to smoke that Sherm like a mug back then, right? But they lived on Gage, like Gage in Normandy or Gage in Vermont. They lived that way. What the hell he was doing over at our house? Somewhat scary, but not really. Because that chimney was dark. That chimney was black with charcoal, all that soot up in there, man. And we never had our chimney like cleaned out or cleaned from its chemicals or nothing. And so my sister is like tripping, like she's hoping he can get out and stuff. But then he starts reading scriptures from a Bible. Was he actually reading them? I don't know. Maybe he memorized them. But he's yelling all these scriptures out the Bible. And now the fool thinks he's Jesus Christ. He thinks he's Jesus. He thinks he's Santa Claus. And he's just on one. And then he starts to threaten us. So my sister calls the sheriff department. My sister at the time, she's like 11th grade, 12. Probably 12th grade because my other sister was gone. So I'm going to say about the 12th grade. She was about 12th grade. And so I'm trying to think in the math, what would that put me? But I'm not sure. So anyway, the sheriff department shows up. And the sheriff department like, what's going on? So we tell them what's going on and shit. And they like, is it a burglary? We like, no, it ain't no burglary. So we talking. And Bobby Joe disappears in thin air. He's gone. He's gone. And then the sheriff was like pissed off, like we done did a prank call or something. And so the sheriff tell my sister, call your mom. My mother was working in Compton with the youth, the parolees and probation youth in Compton at the time. So sheriff called moms, and they get to talking to moms over the phone and stuff, and we don't know what moms are saying. And the sheriff is telling her, you know, that this ain't cool or whatever. And boom. Sheriff leave, moms come home, and she's screaming and yelling at the top of her lungs at my sister. Like, why did you do that? Don't ever do that. Because the sheriff threatened to take us because we didn't have adult supervision. And we couldn't control what was going on in the house. They thought we prank calling them. And Bobby Joe is nowhere to be found. So the next morning, we find Bobby Joe in the backyard, asshole naked, reading from this big old huge Bible. Back then, people used to get naked off the Sherm, and we called it butt naked. Of course, when the crack cocaine came, that bomb, that fire, you know, we would call it butt naked based on how that PCP used to do dudes back in the day. A lot of dudes called it one-hitter quitter as well. But, yeah, man, that PCP, that Sherm was something else in the late 70s. Bobby Joe was reading from a huge Bible, man. It was crazy, man. And I knew right then, that's the first time I knew I didn't ever want to do drugs. Whatever he was using, Sherm, I was never going to use that shit. But there was more follow-up stories that convinced me I don't never want to try no Sherm. I'm not going to be a drug addict. And that's it for today's story, man. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one, man. I got some more stories coming up for y'all. Peace.